Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching She Cares with Joy. This show is with Olelo Community TV, and I'd like to encourage and inspire you with words of wisdom, together with my dedicated guest, who is willing to share her stories to inspire us, especially our caregivers. Being a caregiver comprises of diverse reactions and feelings. It has a wide scope. Most often, though, caregivers are neglected and not appreciated. The main focus are the people that they care for. That's why this show won't talk about clients, but the main subject is the caregiver. They say that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. So as we begin this show, let us start to speak out and express our stories to be heard by the community. Let us create happiness and get inspired. We won't be here to solve issues, but we are here to listen and make those extraordinary experiences be heard. At first, when I started as a caregiver, my goal is to have a job and earn for a living. Like me, I thought it will be a stepping stone in order to survive. But as I go along, I learned to live with it. I realized my passion is not a plan. I did not search for it, but passion was a feeling that ignited deep in my heart. So today, I would like to express my gratitude to my beautiful guest who will be sharing her story on how she has become a caregiver. Actually, she is a medical doctor by profession. She has been a physician of family practice in YNI for 17 years. She was born in North Carolina when her parents were doing their postgraduate studies. She grew up in the Philippines in Los Baños, and she finished Bachelor of Science Medicine in Cebu and in the University of Illinois in Chicago. She has been very active in the community, serving as the past president of the Philippine Medical Association of Hawaii and the Ohana Medical Missions. She continues to be a part of these organizations aside from the Bayanihan Clinic Without Walls. She participates actively at the St. John Apostle and Evangelist Church in Mililani in the Eucharistic and Liturgy ministries. Mind you, for her exercises, she's a good hula dancer. She is under Kumutachana Seyo Fax of Honolulu. Thank you, Dr. Carolina Davide. Welcome to She Cares with Joy.
Thank you for having me, and aloha to everyone. It is a pleasure to be here and with Joyce, whom I know for a certain number of years.
Doctor, you are already a primary care physician and you also do Aloha missions. You were a caregiver to your family as well. What motivated you to follow this journey? You know, this is a hard task.
Well, being a caregiver has certain levels, and I guess in the small scope of in the family, I was the eldest, or I am the eldest of 4 children of my parents. On my dad's side, I am the oldest granddaughter of my grandparents. So from there, of course, being the eldest, you're familiar with caregiving. But upper level, I got interested in doing medicine even in my elementary school days. So being a caregiver, I try to have that one with having a strong faith. So for me, caregiving is practicing my faith too. And it's like giving back to the community for all the blessings I have gotten in spite of all the difficulties in my life. So it's mostly faith-based, and being a caregiver, you should work from your heart.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
But you also mentioned me in some time when we had conversation that you took care of your dad when he was sick. How did you balance your time for all these tasks? You go to your clinic, you you attend the Aloha Medical Mission and PMA. So how did you balance those times? Because you're very busy.
It all boils down to time management. As in anything that you do, you have to set time for this and for your interests. And we should remember that it is up to your passion and what you have to do that you have time. I see like all this, what I do is like a relationship. Relationship with my family, you have to give time. Relationship with your work, you have to give time. Relationship with the community, you have to give time. And relationship with God, you really have to give time. So it boils down into time management.
Wow. And as you go along, taking care of people, helping them get on their feet, what were the lessons you learned while you take care of others?
I think the lessons I learned is the development or how to, there are, what do you call this? There are virtues that has to be improved. So in taking care of people, which you could relate, your being patient or a virtue of patience. As I usually tell my daughter, the virtue of patience should be honed. If there are some people that are bothering you, so if you meet patients or people who could irritate you, so you have to be patient with them. Second of all, tolerance and perseverance. In order to take care of people, you have to persevere, because if you just only give a certain period of time, you wouldn't last in this profession of caregiving. Yours is, we are both in a profession of caregiving, but in the different level. So we have to make sure that it is perseverance also, and a lot of sacrifice.
Yes. Plus trust in God.
Of course. So all of those put together will make us a stronger person so that we would continue in our job in caregiving. Yes.
Wow. Plus you have to pray a lot.
I do.
Yes. We have to pray a lot so we can get more patience, patience. Doctor, are you happy with what you are doing? And what are your greatest joys or fulfillment in this journey?
Of course, I'm happy in what I do. I would have changed careers if I weren't happy. So, how do I get this courage to go on? Of course, you should have heard, or there has been a lot of talk about physician burnt out, which is a big issue among physicians now, because there are lots of administrative burden or the paperwork associated with it. And not a lot of people would go to medicine or even into the medical field because of a lot of paperwork, which you could relate. I mean, even in your field,
Yes.
everything has to be documented.
Yeah.
But those are only the short-term goals. But you have to look at the long term. Why are you in this profession? It's more of the giving.
Yes.
And one of those giving, there's so many things that you have to give, and mostly of yourself. And so you focus on the further goal, the final goal, which is to make sure that the people that we take care of are comfortable and have a quality of life. So that is my main goal, in spite of all those administrative burden going on.
Were there also times when you feel burnt out and, down times? So what you do?
Of course. Life is about up and down,
Yeah.
trials. But there are lots of downtimes. Yeah, you get depressed. And however, I pray. And since I live in Mililani and to Waianae, that's 26 miles already. So I make use of that time, my driving time, to meditate and just be grateful for what I have. Grateful that I work in a community, like going to work like with a beautiful sea and the mountain, you could see them, and that I have a job. And my patients, like some are good and some are not, but I'm thankful that they're still there. Yes. And what do I do to avoid that one? So that goes, you have to have a hobby
Yeah.
aside from praying and be grateful. So my hobby is dancing hula at the moment.
Wow. That's a hard hobby. It's hard to dance if you're not really inclined to it. But, Doctor, what is your advice to our caregivers out there, those who are like me? What piece of advice and wisdom that you can share to them?
Number one, you should love what you do. It's so hard to be a caregiver, especially in your field, if you're after the money.
Yes.
You couldn't give or have a good quality of care to be given to your clients if you don't love what you do. In spite of all the ups and downs that you would encounter, then you should remember that it is more of the giving that you should be given to give. And also remember, whatever you give out, you could receive it in some other time and in some other form. So just focus that what is your main goal in taking care of your patient. Yes.
Yes, because you know, there are sometimes some caregivers, they complain that, oh, they never been appreciated, they never been seen or heard. So there are a lot of times when a caregiver is facing this lonely time, because you know, sometimes you don't sleep at all. Sometimes you deal with family members that are too demanding, and you know, a caregiver can really be stressed or pressured. So what advice can you give when we feel these things happening?
You have to take care of yourself. It is not selfish to take care of yourself. People think if I have to take care of myself, it is selfish. No. When the cup is empty, so by taking care of yourself, you could give more to your patients. So how do we take care of ourselves? By eating good. Here comes what I usually tell my patients, right? So eat right, avoid the inflammatory foods, which are sugars and fats. So I would tell my patients, avoid fatty foods, avoid processed foods and drinks. So that's number one, the diet.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, taking care of yourself is to make sure you exercise so that there would be more blood circulation and it will help. So exercise helps with the general well-being and including your emotions, like with depression, exercise helps too.
Yeah.
Next, you have to be thankful. Part of depression, you have to be thankful and be grateful every day. Because if you don't think of being thankful to the Lord or to the universe, you will forget why you are working in this profession. So diet, exercise, be grateful, make sure you have a lot of sleep.
Sometimes you don't have.
Yes, you don't have, but you have to have time or make up for it. And sleep and a good support system.
Mm-hmm. That's very important.
Support system, be it friends, relatives, and at least someone you could talk to, and you would not feel that you're alone. Because once you're isolated and you don't have that communication, that's where depression sets in, and all those negative thoughts comes into you. So it is important to take care of yourself so that you could take care of other people.
Yeah.
If it comes to a point that you have to see a psychiatrist or psychologist, do it. Do it.
Some are not comfortable going to a psychologist or psychiatrist too sometimes because they thought they are crazy.
No, that's one of the misconceptions. Especially now with the COVID, a lot of mental health issues have come up.
Yes.
It is important that we should be humble to seek help and have the courage to seek help. So, because if you just say, I could do it, how would you remove that pain or loneliness? Then you go to the bad behaviors like smoking, drugs, sex, and alcohol. Or do other stuff which you read on the internet, and sometimes you have to have professional help. Yes, so it's much better if you recognize that it is coming, please seek help. Go first to your primary care provider and they will eventually encourage you to seek other help.
Well, I'm so thankful that I have a primary care provider that is open to me 24/7 anytime. So, doctor, in this work that we do, what other factors you need to share? So, you can tell your story, how you really end up caregiving and how happy you are. I see that your daughter is really excelling well in her chosen field too, and I watched her had this beauty contest and you were in the Philippines that time, and I was the cheerer. She's
you.
really so good. So, are you happy with what you are becoming? And you don't have any regrets or what? Can you share it to us?
Okay, my journey started when I was small. As I mentioned earlier, that I'm the oldest, so in the family. So of course, what does the oldest daughter do or the oldest child do? They're like the second parent. So I had to take care of my siblings. And then it evolved, like when I had my medical school, I lived with my grandparents on my dad's side, meaning the parents of my father in Cebu City in the Philippines. And so they taught me how to deal with people. My grandfather was a retired school superintendent, and he was a teacher, an excellent teacher. And he taught me that being a physician, part of being a doctor is being a teacher. And so I try to teach my patients a lot about health, and hopefully they get it. Not all the time they would get it, but I'll try that they would get it. And while living with them, part of it was to care for them too. So they were in their late 80s when I was living with them.
Wow.
And my grandfather, even in his 80s, was fundraising for his village high school so that it would have 4 years. So I saw him how he did it. And he would mention to me, when caregiving or you care for other people, it should come from the heart and not out of perfunctory, like out of habit or just you were forced to do it. So it should come from the heart.
Yes.
And if it comes from the heart and if you do an excellent job, then people will get to know you, then the money would seep in. So if the thing was to have a good job or give a good service to the people you're serving. So from that one also, I finished medical school. I practiced a little bit over there, and then I moved here and have further training. There was a time when I was practicing already in Illinois, my father got sick and had lung cancer.
Oh.
So then that was where details of caregiving came in.
Yeah.
I had to tell him that he had lung cancer. I had to tell him that he had 6 months to live. And took care of him till he died, which is difficult. But with that experience, it made me a better physician because I know more or less how it is to care for your family member. And I think it also extended, like my experience, how to explain to members of the family how to care for the other members. So if a patient tells me I have no time, I think that's not acceptable for me. Because if you have time to go out of the movies,
Yeah.
go out with your friends, and you don't have time for your family or for a sick person in the family, I don't think so. So
You
that's,
can always make time.
yes,
Yeah.
time management. So that's where my background came.
Thank you, doctor, for all those golden wisdom. You really are a blessing to me as well, and you are giving us inspiration. Thank you for this time that you gave so that you can share your story and we can inspire our caregivers out there. I would also like to thank the Olelo Community Television for this opportunity to be heard. You know, I'm a caregiver as well. So thank you also for my friends and family who supported me. See you again next time. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please send your text messages, and my contact information is flashed down on the screen below. And let me end this show with a verse from the Bible. It's in Colossians 3:23. It says, "Whatever you do, work it heartily as for the Lord and not for men." So if we work it from our heart, we have the passion, because passion is not done over time, or it's not instant. It is learned on a daily basis. So as you go along, you will feel it within your heart that you're happy what you are doing, and that is passion. So till next time, aloha and have a good day.